hello wildlife gardeners. I have something here that you may not have seen before. This is the fruit of the wild service tree, and they are really rare. They're a relict of ancient woodland in Britain, so they're kind of restricted to very, very old hedgerows and snippets of ancient woodland that survive. But what's really interesting about this particular bowl of fruit is that it comes from a really ancient site. So Mid-Kent, former priory, a priory that was destroyed during the dissolution, and this tree grows along the boundary of the earth that was dug out to create the fish ponds of this medieval priory. So it's huge, and it borders an ancient earthwork. How long it's been there, I don't know. What to look out for as you're passing around, they have a very strange leaf. They're almost like a maple, but not really. They look basically like a giant hawthorn leaf, almost more like a giant hawthorn leaf than they do a small maple leaf. And they will turn orange and yellow in the autumn time in a very attractive way. And they'll have this massive froth of beautiful white flowers in the springtime, about May, June, that is very, very attractive to a lot of different pollinators. I've seen bees absolutely going insane for these when they're in full flower. And it forms these little weird fruits that look a little bit like a squashed pear, tiny, and they're quite hard to germinate because they rely on a 16-week plus cold stratification over the winter. So that means they have to have 4 degrees or less for 4 months or more. And we're starting to not get those temperatures anymore. And that could be one pointer as to why they're becoming so rare in the environment. Chiefly, of course, it will be the loss of ancient woodlands. It will be the fact that habitat is being damaged for building projects and things like that. But it may also be that they're not germinating in the wild because we're not getting the very long, cold, severe winters that perhaps historically this tree needed. It will grow by suckers, so it'll grow by sending up a shoot of itself that will then turn into a mature tree. But that, of course, is a clone of the adult plant. It's not mixed genetically as cross-fertilising a flower and turning it into a fruit would do. Problem being that you then end up with a certain form of genetic isolation. And in fact, that has been found in the Kent area. Trees in the Marden area will display certain characteristics of fruit colour or slight difference in shape in the fruit to the trees over at Shadockhurst, which is only a few villages away, but the Shadockhurst trees will have a slightly different shaped fruit. So I found a tree in the middle. I'm going to try and germinate some by extracting the seeds and then putting them in the fridge for weeks and weeks and see if anything has germinated. And if nothing's happened, put it back in the fridge. So if I do manage to get some of these seeds to germinate during that long cold, I'll get back to you and show you what happens when I come to pop them up. But here we go, look, plenty of seeds.